Hey everybody, thanks for joining us on CodeChat. We're glad you're here. I'm Jeremy Foster. You can find me online at Code Foster. I'm really excited to be talking today to Tammy and Landon. Tammy is working with a startup from the Microsoft Ventures incubator called Lionheart Innovations. So let's start off with just asking Tammy about your startup, what you guys are doing, what the reason for it existing, just all of that.
Yeah, so we are a medical platform that is giving caregivers and individuals with medical conditions the tools to be in control over their health. This is from a personal experience of ours. When Lion was born, Lion's his middle name, which is where we got the name, he was born with a failing heart, and doctors told us that he would most likely not live to his first birthday. And we asked them what we could do, and their answer was very simple. It was be involved. Being involved would give him the best chance at life. And so that's what we did. But we found out there wasn't great tools to be able to do this. And I spent the last 4 years teaching advocacy in hospitals and also medical conferences, and learned that it wasn't just me who was looking for these tools. It was everyone who was trying to care for a child they loved, their parents, and even themselves. And so that's when we started Lionheart and decided to build these tools for people that needed them.
So is this primarily a mobile platform?
It is. It's okay. We're building it on iOS right now, and then hopefully in the fall we'll be starting the Android and web version.
We work at Microsoft.
We work at Microsoft?
Not this Microsoft.
Okay.
Not this Microsoft.
Okay. Well, can you tell me about maybe some of the scenarios? Walk me through some of the scenarios that if I have a special needs kid and I'm going to be using this platform to manage the caregiving, that's that, if I understand you right.
Yeah.
Walk me through some of the scenarios that this is going to help me with.
Yeah. So we found out that there are really 4 pain points that people are feeling. One of them is our healthcare is completely fragmented. And we've talked about that before, where every doctor does something different, and no one knows really what the other one's doing. And then also there are multiple caregivers involved. It's not just me caring for Lion, it's my husband, it's a babysitter, it's his teachers when he's at school. And so we needed something where we could collaborate. And then it's also something that you don't expect to happen to you. We had no idea anything was wrong with our son until the moment he was born. And at that moment, we became instant caregivers for him. And so you're not trained, it's unexpected, and basically a rug just gets pulled out from under you. And anyone who's dealt with a chronic medical condition has felt like that. Just this year with my pregnancy, which is not even a big deal, I got diagnosed with diabetes. And it was a whole different thing than I'm used to, like testing blood sugars, making sure I don't eat enough carbs. And it was kind of similar thing, not life-threatening like Landon's, but it's a whole new...
Something to manage.
Yeah. And it's a pain.
Yeah.
And so what we did was create a platform that allows you to customize it for your needs. There are a lot of things out there that help you track medications. There's some things out there that help you track appointments. But there's really nothing out there that allows you to track medications, appointments, vital signs, medical events, to save research, to have someone where in case of an emergency, you can push a button and you have all that essential medical information. We were talking earlier, Landon was telling you about this weekend. We had an emergency trip to the ER. And I usually have this binder with me, and it has all of his medication, all of his hospitalizations, his medical conditions, his surgeries.
But that all happened in Utah.
I made the binder in Utah, yeah. And I didn't have it with me because my husband had the car, and it's usually in the car.
Yeah.
And so when I got to the hospital, I know this stuff, but I didn't have all my forms. I didn't have all that information with me. But there's something I always have with me, which is my phone.
Yeah.
And even in the hosptal, they were having a little problem with their computers. And the doctor there was like...
One problem, they have all my medication, all my medications,
everything.
Yeah.
And so they were having a problem even loading his information onto their computer. And so I was telling the doctor about what I was building, and she's like, that would be great. For something like today, You could just show me on your phone and it would be there and we would have everything we need.
Yeah.
And so, and really the idea why we did this is to reduce medical mistakes. Medical mistakes are a huge part of having chronic medical conditions. And that's something you're always watching out for. We love all of our doctors and the care they give to Lion, but they're human and they can't know everything about every condition and everything that's going on. We, as the patient or as the caregiver, have to really be the one who's involved in driving. We've been talking to different doctors and they love this idea and they're like, it's helping you drive the bus, right?
Yeah.
Like you're the one who's in control.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do.
You were telling me about one use case a while back where you said that how many medications does he need? And you have to remember, I have a hard time taking my vitamins twice a day. How many is it that he has to take? And it's not just you administering that, but it's your husband as well? Do you know?
Like,
Can you tell him your meds?
Leo,
Acyclovir,
Aventadin,
gabapentin,
that's all I don't know.
the ones you know.
Those are some big words.
We're trying to teach him, at age 5
Yeah.
to know his meds so
Wow.
that so he knows their names and then he also knows what they do. So this is my heart med, this is my leg med, this is
Yeah.
my stomach med. And he's the one who marks them off every day. So right now he's only on 5 meds twice a day. But coming home from the hospital, we were on 15 medications 6 times a day.
Wow.
Yep.
And he has a feeding tube. He still does 5 years later. And so remembering to make sure he gets all of his fluids is another thing. At the end of the day, did he get everything he needed? And this allows us to make sure that he does. Whether I do it, my husband does it, while we're out on a date, the babysitter does it. We'll get notifications right when things are done so that nothing is missed or forgotten.
Yeah. Wow, that seems super valuable. So we've talked a little bit about Lionheart and what the reason for it existing is, and it's certainly an awesome thing. My wife and I have a couple of small kids that don't have special needs, and it's still hard. So I can't fully even imagine how difficult it's going to be with so many medications and so many procedures and things like that. But I know that there's a gigantic need for that. So,
and not just for kids, it's for also people taking care of their elderly parents.
Oh yeah,
especially if they live far away. Some of our beta testers, their parents live on the East Coast. And they're still actually caregivers for them. And so they feel like most of their conversations are, Mom, did you refill your meds? Mom, did you take your meds? Mom, did you go to your appointment? Did you ask this question at the doctor's? That's a big part. Are you taking your blood pressure every day? And this would allow them to know from a distance when meds are given, when it's time to refill their meds, so that...
And even if there are multiple kids taking care of their parents, they can collaborate when you're not even in the same household.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And you're in control over who has permission when.
Yeah.
So when he has a babysitter, when she leaves, I set it so she has no access to his information when she's not caring for him.
Yeah.
And so I have complete control over...
So who'll leave, and then when I have a babysitter, a lot, it also gonna.
So she doesn't see your meds and stuff?
Yeah.
So that's helpful.
Yeah. And we assess when meds are taken and how and what time do you give them?
What time you give them? Yeah.
And who did them and all that.
Yeah. Wow. That's a lot of information, especially when you're only this tall, huh?
So it's kind of...
I realize you.
When you're 0 years old?
No, I lied.
Oh, you're 5 years old.
5 years old.
So when we actually moved here, the day we moved here from Salt Lake, my daughter, my oldest daughter, who doesn't have any special needs or anything, she had an emergency appendectomy that night. It was a welcome to Seattle.
Because you needed that.
Yeah, we needed that. We haven't had enough. But it was really nice having this even to track, because we had to alternate Tylenol and ibuprofen every 3 hours. So at 3 a.m. you're like, which one did I give? You know, which one's next? And it's all right there. Like, you gave Tylenol, next is ibuprofen, and sets alarms. So even for little things like that, where it's like, I don't use it every day on her, but if I need it, it's there. So.
Well, you know, this product is just bound to be successful. You know, I think it's clear to anybody. It's clear to me with kids, you know, let alone aging grandparents or you know, whatever. It's clear to me how valuable this is, and so I think it's inevitable that that this is going to be received well. You know what would be awesome is to have somebody from your tech department, one of your developers, come in, and we could have another conversation and just kind of dig into the platform, because I think that especially for your group, it's really important to have this high-level discussion about what the product is.
Right.
But maybe on another day, could I bring somebody from your development group in and we could have a more technical conversation about it?
Yeah, that would be great, because you don't want to ask me tech questions, because I'll just be making it up. So.
Yeah, and you know, mostly our audience is made up of developers, but they like hearing from tech startups, people that, you know, aren't buried in the code, aren't stuck in the code. They're trying to make a startup successful.
Right.
You know, they're trying to make things work. And we're part of that team. As developers, we've got to be a part of that team. And one of the interesting things that I'd like to talk with one of your developers about is the fact that, you know, we're developers, we're just writing code, but we're also kind of adopting the philosophy and the passion and the dream of a startup and seeing it, you know, become successful.
Right. I think
So.
when I was choosing, you know, my CTO and who I wanted to work with, one of the key things that they had to have was they had to have passion.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't have to live it like I lived it. Okay, just wait. You know, they had to have passion, because that's part of this. That's part of the vision. That's how you keep going. That's how you work the long nights, the endless days. And that was a huge part of what I looked for in someone that was going to do this with me, is someone who can have that passion, that vision, and do it with me.
Yeah.
So, because I can't build this myself.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that drive, I don't feel like you're going to make it as good as it's going to be, because this is an important thing.
Yep.
And it's not necessarily for people real technical, so it has to be targeted more at people like me that has to have my 5-year-old show me how to use my iPhone. So, yeah.
Well, look, we're out of time, but thank you so much for joining us, Tammy.
Thank
really
you.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much, Lion.
Can you say bye?
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us on CodeChat. We'll see you next time.